Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Emily Moyer. I am host and producer at Off Planet Media and also all of the things that you find here on this channel. And it's been a few weeks since I did a nutrition video, carnivore update here. Things have been very busy and crazy for me. And I also last week just needed to take a little bit of rest from things. I've been doing a lot of videos and media stuff and it just yeah, I needed to take a rest. And I'm supposed to be doing a show with somebody right now, but I think we got our times confused, so I decided to take this opportunity to make a video here. And yeah, so first I just want to update you guys on the things that I'm doing, and then we will get into the diet experience, the next on my chronological order of diet experiences, and I'll give a carnivore update as well. All sorts of stuff still going on. I'm doing some great shows over on Off Planet Radio. You can see that on the Off Planet Media YouTube channel. Lots of interesting stuff going on there. I've done a lot of interviews that I'm really happy with the last couple of weeks. Also, we've been doing Conspiracy Cocktail. If you haven't joined us there yet, please do. You can join the group on Facebook, or if you are not on Facebook, you can email me at technobrat21@gmail.com, and I will add you to the list to receive the invite every week. It's Saturday evenings at 5 o'clock Pacific, and it is totally fun. It's an online speakeasy. We have information, chatter with guests and just friends, and music, and hanging out, and it's a darn good time. It's one of the coolest little undertakings I've done, and I'm really enjoying it during this strange time we're in. And yeah, so that's going on. And let's see what else we're also doing. Laura and I are also doing a weekly wellness meetup chat group that is for the patrons of my Off Planet Media channel. But that's really cool too. Laura is a doctor of physical therapy and a craniosacral therapist, and she's got 1,052 other certifications because she does everything. The education are out different than me, and she is extremely experienced and knowledgeable. And I am a nutrition consultant and life coach, and we get together and we each sort of speak on a topic and take questions, and that's a lot of fun too. So if you haven't checked out our offerings over on Off Planet Media, you can do that on the YouTube channel or at patreon.com/Off Planet Media. And so, yep, that's what's been going on. And I have a show that I just recorded with Danny that I'll probably put up before this one on this channel, a words episode. She and I are starting to experiment with the idea of doing something that we're going to call a red pill salon. It's still in formation, but keep your eyes peeled for that. And I will get on with the video for today. So the last time that we did one of these, I talked about the Candida Diet. That's where we left off, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The Candida Diet. And I talked about that, and then I gave a carnivore update. So today I'm going to talk about the diet that I did after the Candida Diet. So what happened for me, and what I'm calling this is the Backslide Diet, right? So what happened for me is I had this amazing, powerful experience with the Candida Diet that for me also went along with this amazing, powerful experience with the person who helped me and who became my mentor and my friend, Anne Baroque. And just as I referred to some other videos to sort of document what happened there, you can take a look back at my Sugarless Programmable Matter series or the 2017 year-ender on Off Planet Media, where I talked about a little bit more about my relationship with Anne, and that she was my mentor and my friend, but she was also the first person in my life to really hold me responsible for my own behavior in a way that came with a cost, and then ultimately a behavior change for me. And in this case, holding me responsible for my behavior meant calling me out on my bullshit and my lies about, you know, my drug use. And when I lied to her, she didn't believe me because she was pretty smart and intuitive. I had cleaned up my diet and was not using drugs very often anymore, but I still was sometimes. And she caught me. When I say she caught me, I don't mean she found me doing drugs. I mean, she felt like something was off, and she asked me about it, and I lied to her, which was dumb because I knew she knew I was lying, but I was really lying to myself. I wasn't ready to face things within myself yet. And so that sort of abruptly ended that sort of phase of learning and friendship that I had with her, and kind of just sent me right back to, like, it was weird. Like, I just went right back into what I had been doing before I met her. Although I did continue so what happened was, for a couple of months, I mostly continued doing the diet, but I was doing a bunch of other nonsense. And sometimes I would do a lot of gluten-free pizza eating. And I never went back to eating sugar like candy or anything like that, but I was having some more cocktails maybe, which is sugar. And I was just not taking care of myself in the same way. I stopped exercising again. I just was being sloppy. And I was being sloppy, not because the diet wasn't working or even that I was tired or burnt out on the diet, but I now had done something that made me mad at myself and hate myself. And so I was treating myself like somebody who didn't like myself as well as I had liked myself just a few weeks or months prior, because I didn't. And so I never went so I had a backslide place. And so for me, I had gotten to a place where I liked how I looked better aesthetically. I felt much better. I was being much more functional in the outer world. I was starting to like myself better, which also came with whenever I did do something that I knew wasn't good for me, I now felt more guilty for it. So that created a whole other heap of bullshit that I would have to sort of deal with and work through. But I needed to go through that. And so, for about a year, about a year after this point, I sort of would sometimes be doing the diet really well and other times just kind of not, and being sloppy with it, not really exercising very much, doing a lot of things that weren't good for me, a lot of sleeping too much or not sleeping at all, partying, just the kind of just what for me was like my routine that I had been in for about 10 years, where I was into this thing where I knew that there was something larger in my life, but I couldn't push myself. I knew that there was something wrong, right? And so one of the things that got exposed for me when I cleaned up my diet is all of these memories started coming back. And this is why, and I didn't have anyone to really talk about them with, right? Like I had a therapist that I had worked on and off with for many, many years, who I still do, but I was only giving her part of the picture, right? And I was in a phase where I wasn't seeing her at this point. And so I was having all of these amazing changes that were happening in my body and in my mind due to diet. And what it did was it broke down a bunch of structures and programming. And I started to have this flood of memories and emotions and feelings and whatnot. And I didn't really have anybody to talk to about them. I would try to talk to Anne about them and stuff. And some of it she kind of got and some of it she didn't, but it wasn't her responsibility. I was seeing her as a nutritional consultant, as a CNC. But I found that this profound experience I was having with this lifestyle change that she had created and helped me with left me needing a need to talk to somebody. And that's part of why I include life coaching in what I do with nutrition, because I find that sometimes you need to talk to that person about what else is going on with this. Maybe it doesn't have to always be the same person, but in my case, it would have been helpful had it been. And this is not a criticism of the way she did stuff, because she helped thousands of people, including myself. And ultimately, I did get to where I needed to go. So her job done well a million times over. But I also recognize, okay, there's something here that if the person who's helping someone change their life nutritionally can also be sort of an ear and a guide and a coach for what else is going on emotionally or on the bigger picture in the person's life, that may be a valuable thing that I could offer to people. So I was having this just complete falling apart of my programming, and at the same time becoming very clear, because I was having a lot more periods of time now where I was not doing drugs, that I was able to look at the things that were going on from a place where I knew my thinking was clear. And what I was finding was not only were the things that I was suspecting about things that had gone on for me in my life, including certain kinds of sexual abuse and mind control and whatnot, that they were becoming more vividly obvious to me, not less. And so in some ways the drugs had acted as like a screen, which is not surprising. You often find people who've had traumatic experiences who are using drugs to cover that up. And so even though I was well aware of it, there was part of my head that thought maybe because of the drugs were making me think that was true, and it was opposite, right? So that whole next year after my experience with the Candida Diet, I was like half in, half out. But every time I did something that I knew that wasn't good for me, the price I paid for it was much higher than it had ever been before. And it got me to a place where I finally knew that I had to make a big change and a kind of a once and for all change. So for me, the Backslide Diet was sort of, you know, halfway doing the Candida Diet, but living the life of somebody who hates themselves and sort of on and off parties and, you know, whatever, not really exercising. And I lost about 50% of the gains that I had made in terms of just like what was going on with my body, my skin, my mental processes, my ability to be functional in the outer world. But I never went back to the place that I had originally started from when I met and when I started the Candida Diet. So, you know, once you really understand like how powerful a nutritional transformation can be, even when you are going through a really hard time and having a hard time holding it together, there was still enough of a shift made for me that I never went back to the old thing. And so that's really powerful. And so I encourage people, even if they don't have all of the other shit together in their life, first, to go ahead if they're feeling like they want to make a nutrition or a health change, to do it, because it will eventually take you to the place that you need to get with the other things. So for me, I quit sugar and cleaned up my diet, my lifestyle, before I stopped doing drugs. For a lot of people, they think, okay, I'll get clean, and then when I get, you know, solve all those problems, then I'll take care of the. No, for me, it wasn't going to work that way. And this was the most powerful step. The most important thing I ever did in my life was change my relationship with nutrition. And from there, everything that I had been struggling with, that I had fought, you know, like had been trying to fight to fix or to change or to make some sort of headway that I just didn't seem able to do, everything started to shift once I got control of my body and my nutrition and really understood quality in, quality out, garbage in, garbage out. Like once I had started making better decisions about what went into my body, then what started happening was I started making better decisions in my life. And when I didn't, when I would go against what I knew to be true and make bad decisions, I would pay a huge price for it, which eventually led me to realize, oh, I have to stop making those decisions. So this was a really powerful and important period of my life transformation and my diet transformation. And I would go on from that spot, and where I will pick up again is next time is revisiting the Candida Diet and forward and the things that I did nutritionally after that. But that was a really powerful period and a place I don't want to go again. I don't want to have that kind of backslide again. Sometimes we all have periods where we're not doing a diet as clean, or a way. I have to stop calling it a diet, like a way of eating, a way of having your relationship with food and whatnot, that we know when we're really in tune with it and it's good, and then other times when we're just kind of like it's a little bit of a mess. And sometimes that's okay because you're going through a life change or whatnot. But you know, this period that I had where I slid back a little bit and then paid a huge price for it was really powerful. So that's where I'm going to leave that part. And now on to the carnivore update. So I am now, this is Monday. This is beginning my 9th week on the carnivore diet. And the way that I'm doing the carnivore diet is carnivore all the time, except for Saturday nights. I eat and drink whatever I want. It usually starts Saturday afternoon because I have some snacks. My happy hour-ish kind of drinks at Conspiracy Cocktail, and then we have whatever we want for dinner. It's been a little bit different last week and this weekend because it was Laura's birthday, and so we had I ate a little something different last Sunday, and then yesterday we had a birthday party for Laura, and so I had sort of second half of the day not carnivore yesterday, Sunday either. But other than that, all the other days of the last 8 weeks, I've been eating only animal or carnivore products or carnivore things, and it's been really, really interesting. So I did feel kind of this morning after having 2 days in a row where I ate something else. But when I say I don't mean anything is wrong. I just mean you can tell the difference, right? So it's fascinating to notice this and have these experiences. And then I hop right back on it this morning. And here's where I'm at with things. I originally said I was going to do a month, and then it turned into longer. So I'm now into the 3rd month of doing it, or into the 9th week. And I'm going to continue doing this as long as I see benefits. I'm feeling really good. I'm having progress with my body. I'm not quite to where I want to be yet, but I'm getting closer, and I'm just having a lot less issues than I was having before in terms of like energy levels and just psychologically and emotionally and how I feel about myself and my body. And I am way more productive than I've really been in a long time. And so I'm going to stick with this. I was having some struggles, and I am bored of eating meat on a certain level. But when I go and eat other stuff, then I kind of can't wait to go back to eating the meat. I seem to have gotten over my obsession with heavy cream. I'm still having it in my coffee once or twice a week. And I'm still making the carnivore ice cream occasionally, but for a while I was like really getting into that because I wanted a textural difference, or I was eating kind of a lot of cheese. That seems to have passed, and I'm back to mostly just eating meat and eggs and animal fats now in terms of butter and ghee and things like that. Yeah, so it's still a little boring, but right for now, the benefits outweigh the that boredom. And so I probably will sometimes just do the Saturday night thing, and maybe I will start loosening up for a second day on the weekend sometimes if I want to. I don't always feel like I want to, but in this case, we were having a birthday party and I decided I wanted to partake. And I'm not here to try and make a religion out of the carnivore diet. And I'm a person, and I think this is important, and I don't hear this addressed enough in like the online carnivore community. For some people who don't have serious health problems, we just want to be at peak performance, but also want to be able to enjoy life and with food being part of that. Like, I'm a foodie. I like food. I like cocktails. I want to go to fancy restaurants. And so I don't hear too many people talk about really good ways to incorporate that or ways to cycle that in. There is somebody who talks about cycling their carnivore diet that I'm looking at getting on the show, who has been the person I've learned the most from. So I think I may do an internal alchemy with him if I can get him to agree to that. But I would love to hear from carnivores who do like an 80-20 or a 90-10 or something like that. The other thing that I'm really liking about this is it's very effective for me cost-wise during this strange period of time, because I tended to spend a lot of money on to-go food and eating out and whatnot. And now I'm just eating mostly steak or beef, a few other things all the time. I make it at home. I don't need to pay somebody else to do that for me. So it's been really cost efficient. I am not spending a lot of money on vegetables and green juices and things like that I used to. And it's not that I don't like those things. I really do. But apparently, somehow they were making me not feel as well as I feel now not eating them. I don't know that I completely understand that yet. There's a part of me that is still in cognitive dissonance over this and doesn't want to believe that that can be true. But, I had this interesting experience last weekend where I kind of really tuned into nature and had this sort of interaction with nature where I understood that the plants may be now defending themselves against some of the same things that we're defending ourselves against. And that is for some reason making them not as digestible or not as readily available or easy to metabolize or whatever it is that as they used to be, or that they may again be in the future, right? Like they may be producing sort of, a protective layer or mechanism or exoskeleton or lectin or whatever that is now making it difficult for people who used to have no trouble digesting and using those things as good, clean, energetic fuel. Now, for some reason, it's something different. And we're all in this phase where we're having to throw up guards and protective mechanisms to survive right now. So it would make sense that other things work too. And I don't know, I can't account for why the animal foods are still working for me, other than that maybe I don't know what it is. Maybe they're the fat, the kind, just like in our bodies, the fat in the cell membrane, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm searching for answers myself. I'm somewhat mystified and sometimes horrified by this experience that like I used to be a vegetarian and now just eating meat makes me feel better than vegetables. It's somewhat disturbing. But it's where I'm at right now, and it's how I'm experimenting with my own body. And it was kind of intuitive in nature how this all came about. And so I'm going with it and just seeing, because this is what's working for me right now. And it is probably going to be something else that works for me in the future. And I think that's the biggest lesson. And I've said this before, but what I'm realizing is just like we evolve and we grow and we change and we shift, the same thing has to be with our diet. And we can have tools that we know that can help us at certain times, but it's not always the same. And so I think the most important thing to do for those of us who work in the field, and just those of us who are wanting to be healthy in general, is to constantly be evolving, be willing to evolve what we need to do to feel our best, and to keep our minds open to some of the possibilities that may sound a little weird, but fucking this whole shit is super weird right now, right? Like, I don't think I ever, would have imagined that we'd be 2 months into staying in our houses pretty much all the time, and everybody being masked freaky creatures out there. Like, nothing is the same as what we've been used to. So it would follow that diets aren't going to be either. And being adjustable for yourself, and in this case also with my clients. Like, I'm trying a lot of new things with clients. It's going very interesting. We're having interesting results. I'm now starting to have people contact me with questions about carnivore and whatnot. And I would not yet say that I'm an expert on carnivore, but I definitely have a level of understanding that you can only get from experience, and I'm continuing to have that. So I will be able to offer more. The other thing that I'm just fascinated with still is this thing with my skin. I've never had skin like this. Like, the other day, like, I caught, like, when you just like walk by a mirror quickly and whatever, and I was like, oh my God, who is that skin? It's my skin. I've never had it be that sort of clear and soft. And that's kind of like, or at least not since I was a kid. So that's kind of amazing and a miracle. And all right, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to say about that. I seem to be okay with not taking supplements. I did add in the last few weeks, I am taking a mineral supplement and a magnesium supplement about every other day, just because I am sometimes having a little bit of issues with elimination, not significant issues, but that magnesium seems to help. And also I was having a little bit of sometimes like restless or jumping leg kind of thing. So I do some minerals occasionally, but not a lot. And that's it. I haven't been taking supplements other than that. And before I started Carnivore Diet, I was taking a ton of supplements. It cost a lot of money, and I don't know how effective they were. And they were things that used to be effective for me. So we're in a whole new world, a whole new paradigm. We're not going back to the way things used to be. Whatever happens on the other side of this is going to be something different. I don't even know if it's going to be a new normal. I don't know if anything will ever be normal again. I don't know. It will definitely be new. But I think this is just a great time to really learn how to be constantly evolving yourself, your thinking on things, and flexible and open to what works and whatnot. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like help getting your nutrition and your life in order, like health and happiness, and start to bring joy back, especially after you've had a traumatic or a mind control type of experience, I would love to assist you on that journey. You can find me on Facebook at Emily Moyer or at technobrat21@gmail.com. And I'm offering pretty deep discounts right now, because I know everybody's in an unusual time sort of financially and planning for the future and whatnot, but it's also a great time to sort of get those things together so that whatever emerges on the other side, you're in fighting shape. No, we're not fighting, but you know what I mean. You're in good warrior shape. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.